Xin chào quý vị và các bạn trở lại với xe đời sống.vn.
Và tại sự kiện trải nghiệm Ford Everest thế hệ mới lần này, ngoài sự tham dự của các phóng viên, nhà báo cũng như là các giám đốc đại lý, đặc biệt còn có sự tham dự của hai chuyên gia người Úc, đó là ông Mark Trần, thiết kế trưởng, và ông Ian Forston, kỹ sư trưởng nền tảng phụ trách phát triển sản phẩm Ford Everest thế hệ mới. Trong sự kiện này, xe đời sống cũng đã có dịp phỏng vấn, trò chuyện với hai vị chuyên gia để có được những góc nhìn sâu sắc hơn về Everest thế hệ mới.
So I've been very fortunate in my career. I began my journey with Ford 16 years ago as a junior designer. I studied industrial design at Monash in Melbourne, so I was very lucky that I was in the right field, and an opportunity made itself available at Ford, and I've been with Ford ever since. Working my way up from just a junior designer, working on different projects, very diverse within region and global. And then, through to interior design, exterior design, and now I'm a chief designer of the next gen Everest. So it's been a really great journey for me. So with Ford, we listen to a lot of customers, Vietnamese customers included. We have a very important team in our organisation, which is the Global Consumer Insights, and they spoke to Vietnamese customers as well as a lot of ASEAN customers. And even with our own design team, we were part of that process. So even in the early stages, we actually send our designers to different countries to spend, real time with customers. And then also we participate in all the research events. So we got a really good insight into all the developing customers. So I've been fortunate enough to work on all three generations of Everest. So, right back we started my career. So, we like to obviously improve on things as we go from next generation to next generation. What's really important for us when we approached this next generation, we wanted to make sure it was really modern and advanced. It had to represent the characteristics of the next gen Everest. So, things that we have brought forward, I would say in terms of the exterior design, we've brought in some elements that make it a recognisable Ford, Ford SUV, but really dialed up some of those other elements that we build off from the previous generation. So it's been a long journey for us. Our team has worked very hard to deliver such a great product. And our journey started many years ago, probably started 2016 when we first started talking about the project. There were people involved even earlier with the planning stage. And we sent our designers, our team to go out into the field, spend time with customers. We actually sent them into different regions. They talked to customers and they actually got to experience a product with them. So we learned, what they liked, but also what they didn't like, and brought those insights together. And we made sure we had all that information before we even sketched, a concept. But the sketching phase, obviously, we've got a very talented team who develop a really great design solution. So, that was quite a key moment. And that went for probably more than 2 years of design development, also concept proof, building the properties. We actually go and actually develop full-scale clay models still. But we also do today, we actually have tools that make it a lot more faster. So we even use virtual reality. So we can actually develop concepts and actually visualize it in real time really fast now. Display on the instrument panel. We've gone for a large portrait display. We've gone much larger than our competition, so 12-inch at the high range. So really great piece of technology, a lot of integrated features. It means we've got to remove a lot of buttons out of the instrument panel, so everything's in the screen. It's very intuitive to use, and it's at the right angle as well. So when the sun comes into the interior, it's not reflecting off your eyes. And then even from an ergonomic standpoint, it's actually very easy and intuitive to use. Everything's on hand and at reach. But what's really important about the display is it's really well integrated in the environment. You know, we've flanked it with the air registers and made sure that it's really secure on the instrument panel and doesn't feel like it's going to fall off. For the Next Gen Everest, you know, it's a big project, and it's a very important project for this region. You know, we know the success of the current generation. You know, we're seeing year on year, you know, growth. So getting the next gen was important, and you know, it was important to get the right decisions. So, you know, we talk a lot about customers, but you know, making sure that we've got all those insights early on, even during the process, you know, meant that we could, you know, make the right decisions for the product. So, you know, it is an important product, and we made sure we actually had all the right interactions with the customer. So, what do I like most about the Next Gen Everest? I think we actually strike the right balance for the Next Gen Everest. I think, you know, with the capability of the vehicle, I think we struck the perfect balance of a nice, rugged SUV exterior, but then on the interior, it feels very premium and spacious. So that balance of both those is what really is my favorite thing about the Next Gen Everest. We know that Next Gen Everest and current generation Everest is really popular in Vietnam, so thank you. I'm from Vietnamese background, so my parents were born in Vietnam. I'm born in Melbourne, but you know, have a very close connection to the Vietnamese community. So I'm very proud to be here to represent, obviously, Ford to present this vehicle, and you know, very excited at what it means to the Vietnamese customer group.
Welcome everyone, and it's great to be here in Vietnam. But in terms of the Next Generation Everest, the first thing we've thought about is adventure. You know, whether that's the improved off-road capability, you know, whether that's the space to load your things inside the vehicle, or whether it's all the safety features that are available to make sure that your journey, both on-road and off-road, is comfortable and you can enjoy it with your family and get to your destination rested. So for the Next Generation Everest, we spent a lot of time developing the third generation platform, and part of that was to actually upgrade all of the powertrain, so the engine, the transmission, the transfer case, and also the rear axle. And we've done this for many reasons. First of all was to make sure we could meet all of the future emission standards that are coming. Secondly, we wanted to make the engine quieter to give our occupants less sound in the cabin when they're driving along. But thirdly, we wanted to make sure it was more durable as well. So we did, around 6 million kilometres of testing on the transmission and around 5 million kilometres on the engine to really make sure it meets the needs of our customers, whether they're towing, carrying heavy loads, or just driving around with their family. Yeah, so for the Next Generation Everest, we spent a lot of time balancing the different attributes that we need to make the vehicle, a great feature for the customer. And the things we had to balance up, one was the fuel economy. So we actually made the tyres slightly narrower. So that means that the rolling resistance of the tyre is less, and therefore that helps to actually improve the fuel economy. But we also actually made the tyre diameter slightly bigger. So what that actually did was it gave us more play in the tyre to absorb the bumps from the road, but it also gave us more ground clearance as well. So there were kind of three main reasons for changing the size of the tyres. So for the Next Generation Everest, our engineers have spent a lot of time improving the noise, vibration and harshness of the vehicle. And you really notice that when you first get into the vehicle and drive it away, how quiet and how refined it is. We have made sure that the engine is actually now quieter. So we've actually introduced many changes to make sure that combustion noise and things coming from the engine is quieter. We have moved the brake modulator from the dash onto the frame, and this stops noises coming through that dash into the vehicle. So really what we're trying to do is make this vehicle harmonious. None of those noises should be more dominant than the other, so that means that people in the first, second and third rows can actually talk to each other without having distractions from noises outside of the vehicle. So for the next generation Everest, we spend a lot of time talking to customers, understanding really how they use their vehicle and which kind of terrain management modes they would like. So I'm not so sure about Vietnam so much, but a lot of people tow, so they want a specific mode to actually help them tow. So this kind of restricts wheel spin, helps them pull away slowly. Going downhill, it helps brake the vehicle. Another mode that customers asked for specifically was an eco mode, to really make sure that if they're driving long distances or they want to drive gently, they can get the best fuel economy out of the vehicle. Then the other modes, they're pretty much the same as they had before. So, you know, we have mud and ruts, we have the kind of sand mode as well, which helps you progress over very, very loose ground. So a mode for everybody, yeah, depending on how they're driving. So for the next generation Everest, you know, safety has been our #1 priority. We've made sure that the vehicle structure is made from all the latest high-strength steels to really make sure we're protecting the customers in case of an accident. And we've also deployed all of the latest advanced driver assist technologies to this vehicle to make sure that when you're driving the vehicle, it can keep you and your family safe. So for example, automated emergency braking, evasive steer assist, all these things that can help you actually avoid hitting something in the first place. And then if you do find yourself, unfortunately, in an accident, there are so many great passive features on the vehicle that can stop you actually getting yourself and your family hurt. For example, we have 7 airbags, including the airbag that goes on the side, the curtain airbag that goes from the first, the second and the third rows. But also we have something called post-collision braking. Try to remember it now. Post-collision braking, which is a great feature. So if you do find yourself in an accident, the brakes will continue to be applied to slow the vehicle down. Yeah, I think the next generation Everest, more than ever, we've really spoken to customers and asked them, you know, what are the features that you really want and matter to you? And some great features that we've introduced on this next generation product are things like, you know, the adaptive cruise with full stop and go technology. So that means over long journeys, when you're traveling behind somebody, the vehicle will slow down and stop when you get to the lights or a junction, and then will resume afterwards and follow that vehicle. Really, it makes such a comfortable and relaxing drive, and also keeps your family safe as well. Another great feature we've got is actually our parallel and perpendicular park, and this is our 2.0 system. So the vehicle is fantastic. It finds a spot for you, it knows the space it needs, you press a button, and then you take your hands off. It turns the steering wheel, it selects drive and reverse, and it parks safely in that space. So fantastic feature, and we know our customers will really value it.